I get to. I like that. I like that. So it's the smooth.
Did you hear the part about came in, put their shoes in the right spot? Okay, so you know what? That is something that we totally have going on in our relationship. And you know, the laughter because you can relate to it, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm saying this for myself in as much as everyone else, right? Is one of the things that, you know, if you
lead right here.
that's a turn on right there.
Isn't that sexy?
That is such a sexy turn on to me. The thing is, you know, when we talk about family dynamics, things that, you know, happen that you look for certain things in your family dynamics. In my growing up, my father would, you know, he would do things a certain way every day, and he'd come home and he'd put his things in a certain spot, and he was very neat, and sometimes he'd even do the laundry, and I'd be like, wow, you know, you're doing the laundry too, and all of this. And then now in relationship with my husband, I would expect that he would do the same things that my father would do, or be the same way that my father would be with my mom, that he would be the same way with me. And it's an unrealistic expectation to have. And I say this, and I have the same things that, you know, everybody else does. It's like, well, why can't you do that? But it's not, I'm not thinking about him. I'm thinking about how it used to be when I was growing up, and what I used to see and what I thought that a man would do when he's coming home, or how a man would hold a woman, or how a man would be with a woman, and I would expect that of him. And so in our relating, that's one of the things that would get in the way of our connection. I wouldn't even see Satyen. I would see, well, Dad would do that. Dad would hang up, you know, his jacket. Dad would dance with Mom this way. How come you can't? And forget that, wait a minute, I'm not with Dad right now. I'm not a kid. I'm not in that. This is my husband. And just to snap out of that for a second, taking the good and the bad of, you know, the way I was used to growing up, and put that aside and go, wait a second, I'm out of the house. I'm no longer living there. I'm living with my husband. This is my husband. Wait a second. This is the one that I'm with. And wait a second, he's got these great qualities that I fell in love with. Wait a second, what were those? And then start to remember that, and start to remember the gifts that he brings to the relationship. You know what? No, he doesn't always put his shoes in the right spot.
Or hang my coat up.
Or hang his coat up, or do those things. And it's funny because we all relate to that, but what does he do? You know, what does he do? And this is something that I continually have to try and remember.
Well, what do I do that turns you on?
Well,
like that way, in terms of coming home or leaving for work or going away.
What you do is you remember to connect with me first. You remember me before the shoes. You remember me before the cleanup. You see me first. You're like, honey, come here. Honey, oh, I just want to be with you. And the place, you know, like the bed may not be made, but you make out with me first.